Today at CZ Custom, I would like to talk to you about how we weigh the triggers after we've done trigger work on custom guns we build. We've been some questions lately about some of the trigger weights people are seeing, so I just kind of want to clarify that. First thing, we used an NRA weight set. If you're not familiar with the NRA weight set, it's certified weights. This is a half pound, this is a quarter pound, the base is a pound, and this is what we use to verify that our triggers. We even have the one they would normally have for a rifle that we've modified to work for a pistol. So let me show you how this works. So I'll grab, this is our P01 Custom, and I'll start with the double action because the hammer's down, but first let's check, make sure she's empty. And so you get your weight set, right? This one is set, we got 1 pound for the base. This is a 5 pound weight, and this is another 1 pound weight. So we're now sitting right here at 7 pounds, right? Should hold 7 pounds. And it does. Now all you do is you add a little bit more weight, go straight up to 8, see what that does. And when we do this, you really want to make sure you have the gun square to the weights. You have this roller, which we've made these rollers to fit the standard CZ trigger. That way you get a very consistent pull every time. Okay, it's 8.5. This is our carry gun model. We try to keep these triggers a little heavier. 8 3/4. Wow. Okay. So that was 8.5. There's 8 1/4. So it won't hold 8 1/4. Oh. Also matters how you pull it. We're gonna lift it nice and gently. I got a little fast that time. So it'll hold 8 pounds, won't hold 8 1/4. So we're gonna call this an 8 pound double action trigger. Set this off to the side. And we'll go to the single action. All right. Bring our single action setup over. Now the base on this one is 2 pounds. We're gonna add 1 more pound here to make it 3. It should definitely hold 3. And she definitely holds 3. We'll go to 3 1/4. Holds 3 1/4. 3.5. Breaks 3.5. So we know it'll hold 3 1/4, but it breaks if you put it, 3.5 pounds on it. So what we do is we're going to call this a 3 1/4 pound trigger. Yes. Sorry, took a second there to have to think about what I was saying. That way, we know it's slightly above that, it'll hold, but it won't hold the next weight up. So we know that it's somewhere slightly above that, but we want to put down what it holds. And that's what it holds. So now this is a little carry gun that we've got set with the weight. Basically, it's kind of as high as you can get in the standard CZ trigger system and still have a clean break. And it's really nice. Now, if you grab one of our other guns, like this is a tactical sport frame, or it's actually a Checkmate, but it's the tactical sport base. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to use this because tactical sports come from the factory with a fairly light trigger. So we'll start with the 1 pound base. We know it'll hold a pound. No problem. And let's put the half pound weight on it. Again, I'm pulling straight up, trying to make sure that this roller is in the center of the trigger. Okay. Holds 1.5. And 1 3/4. And it won't hold 2. So we're going to say it's a 1 3/4 pound trigger. All right, let's set that one down. Now, for the competition shooters out here, we have our AO1, like the Shadow 2. They're some of our favorite competition guns we like to do, and we like to keep those triggers a little lighter. So let's see what we get for those for the single action, double action. This is a custom gun we do. It's a very basic custom gun. It's basically just trigger work. The AO1, of course, is built completely here in-house. So let's start with the Shadow 2. Make sure there's nothing in it. We'll check the single action first. Take that half pound off. So we're doing 3 pounds. And it won't hold 3 pounds. So let's do 2.5. Should hold the 2.5. Okay. And put that other quarter pound on, so now that's 2 3/4. Holds 2 3/4. So we're somewhere between 2 3/4 and 3 pounds. So we will write this up as a 2 3/4 pound trigger. Competition is fantastic. Now let's check the double action. Now I just want to go over this plenty of times with everyone so that we really know what we're doing when we check these triggers. This is the best. We feel the most confident that this is getting us something reliable. A lot of those pull scales really will depend on how hard you pull it, whether you stop pulling when it breaks, and we just don't trust those. This is 7, and it holds 7. 7.5. Holds 7.5. 7 3/4. Again, I want to line it up, make sure everything's nice and square. Holds 7 3/4. Okay, for one of our competition trigger jobs, this is actually a little heavier than I would like. Usually we like to keep them around 7.5 pounds. Okay, so it's holding 8. Will not hold 8 3/4. So we would call that an 8-pound trigger. Set that off to the side. Again, we're going to go ahead and hit RAONLD. Plug the magnet in it. Make sure she's empty. Start with double action because that's what we have here. And we'll start with that 8 pounds. Will not hold the 8 pounds. There's 7.5. Will not hold the 7.5. Okay, it'll hold 7 1/4. So we call that a 7 1/4 pound double action. Slide that over there. Get our single action weight. Okay, and we'll start with 3 pounds. And it holds 3 pounds. Yeah, I'll hit that 1/4 pound over here. But it won't hold, 3 1/4. So we're going to call that a 3-pound trigger. So hopefully this helps people understand how we at CZ Custom are weighing our trigger weights after we've done a trigger work on the gun or build a custom gun for you. So when you see your inspection sheet that comes, has those trigger weights written on there, this is how we're getting to those trigger weights. And I also strongly recommend that anybody that wants to have a proper weight on the trigger of their gun or their pistol or their rifle use NRA weights as opposed to the pull digital ones. They really don't give you the best. There's too many factors that come into play. In fact, I'll show you a little bit of, even with the NRA weights, what kind of factors you can get just with how technique works. Like if I tip the gun to the back, to the back of the trigger like this, it'll hold that now. If I roll it this way, and even take some weight off, it'll probably show lighter because of how the trigger pivots. See, now it'll break with that. And then, all right, well, hopefully this information helped you guys out. And as always, have fun shooting.